Thank you very much, Riv. We are joined by CLG's Dexter and Nien. Guys, congratulations on that win. You guys kind of took your time with it, and then anytime someone was like available, just pop the ultimates, run at him, kill him. Was that just the goal of the comp, just wait for openings?
Well, we had the Evelyn pick, and the thing is, in scrims, we can never practice Evelyn properly because every lane just dies, level 2. And then I never can practice Evelyn, and I just wanted to practice Evelyn, how to flank properly. And yeah, then we just decided, okay, we're going to bait Baron, and then we're going to set up the good Evelyn ultimate, and that's what we did, and yeah.
And it really worked out for you guys. Did you expect that kind of comp coming in? Because their bans were interesting. It was like the Rise, the Kazakhs bans. We don't see that much against you guys.
Well, the only thing I'm playing in solo queue is Kazakhs pretty much, and people just ban it because I guess I don't want to deal against it or something, or with it. So yeah, I can understand why they banned Kazakhs, but yesterday in the TSM game we banned 5 junglers and they first picked one. So it was kind of annoying to play something, and then we just had to adjust our picks and bans into this game, and it worked out.
And Yen, you've been playing that Shyvana into Renekton a couple times. Yesterday it didn't work out too well against TSM, and today you were down a fair number of CS against Zion Spartan. Talk to me about what went better this game for that matchup when the victory.
Well, yesterday versus TSM, the main reason why I was put so far behind is because I stayed bottom for a 5-play on Dragon, and the Dragon play got delayed, and then also my recall got stopped.
Yep.
So what ended up happening is Dyrus pushed 5 waves into my tower, and I lost all those waves. He got all the tower pressure, and then eventually I called Dexter up to help me protect the tower, but the tower is way too low, and then they just made a play on Dexter, and then that just sealed the deal, basically. And from that point on, when Renekton gets that big of a lead, it's really, really hard to come back as Shyvana. But today, in a standard lane setup, with Shyvana, you can just farm with E. Although Renekton outtrades you and he has control of the lane the entire laning phase, pretty much, you can still farm up, and he'll have a CS lead, but eventually you'll be able to outscale and put a lot of pressure, and I ended up out-CSing him, even though I did have that CS lead at the start.
Yeah, and you said when you came onto CLG as the top laner that you were kind of going to mold yourself into a top laner that CLG needs. Do you think you're there yet, or do you still have a lot of molding to do?
No, I don't think I'm there yet, definitely. I think that I'm improving a lot, but I'm not as good as Balls or Dyrus yet, and I need to improve and be better than them.
All right. Well, as you head on your way up to that tier, we do have a replay for you guys we want to talk to you about. It's a dragon fight. If we can get that on your screen, it ends up with a kill for you guys. If you want to walk us through what happens here.
Yeah, that's a dragon play we
nice
make,
initiation by
and we
Dexter,
get the good initiate, the 2-man Evelyn ultimate. Yeah, I was afraid that maybe Vi's gonna kill us, but W was like, okay, go, 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 and then he's going for it. Yeah, and we get the double kill, I think, with a good ultimate from Afromo, and then we just dive him. Yeah.
Epic, nice.
Epic.
Yeah, I mean, you guys were so fast with your overall team composition.
Yeah.
Is that something I've noticed you guys have been doing a lot of speed compositions lately? Kind of just talk to me about that strategy.
Well, we really like how Koreans play it because the Sivir is like high value for them, and we think that we have a team comp around Sivir as well. And if we get the Sivir, like we have Sivir comps, but Sivir fits really good with movement speed, and Evelyn scales really well with movement speed. Shyvana is really good with movement speed, and you can just toss the ultimate from Leona, and then everyone follows up with the movement speed. So it's a really good comp we run, and I think we have like really high success rate with it.
Yep, and if everyone's really comfortable on the champions, if you get into lead in the early game, you can just like run them over basically mid to late game, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Exactly what happened in that last game, too.
Yeah, you guys did a really good job of taking everything down. So then you guys played around Baron for a really long time. You kind of kept looking for openings and engages. You couldn't really jump over walls, so you're just like, hopefully we run fast enough we can catch up to them. Like, is that just sort of, how do you close a game when all you can do is run at them?
Well, we just started Baron because we knew that Shyvana can tank it forever, and all we wanted to do is bait them into the Baron pit, and I flanked them with Evelyn. And I think we did it like twice, but then we just decided to go for an open inhib, and we took it, and then we went to Baron again, and we wanted to create a pick again. And yeah, it was a bit of a slow match, like we should have just done Baron, but we were like, okay, just get a pick and try. Yeah.
And I felt like the game was really decided after you guys got that nice ace in the jungle. We have a clip of that if we can also just pull it up onto the screen. Talk to me about why this opportunity presented itself in the jungle.
Well, I said that I am looking for an opportunity, and I got the 2-man ultimate on them. And basically what I'm doing right now is I'm tanking every damage, and my shield is going down. And they use a lot of spells on me already. And we have the team coming in with the follow-up by Afromo right now on the Ahri. And that's all we wanted to do. Like, we forced Ahri ultimates defensively every time, and that's our plan coming into the game as well. And then we get a good ultimate here, Lulu with the flash, ultimate, and then we dive the Renekton, and then we get the ace.
So it really worked out for you guys. Basically take the turret down, of course. Poor Zion left alone under the turret.
10-0, and then Afromu started the death spree of that game.
Yeah.
He ruined the perfect game.
So unfortunate. Looking at this one, at the beginning of Champs, like, you guys took all, like, 60 seconds to lock in the Sivir. Did you know it the whole time when you were just kind of messing with us, or were you debating a lot of important first picks at the beginning?
Well, the thing is, every time Kassan is open, everyone's going like, what are we doing? We giving the Kassan or not? And we're like, okay, we could play Kassan, obviously, but we're like, no, we want to play this comp. We want to get back into our comfort zone, and that's what we're doing. And we just went with the Lulu, Shyvana, and Evelyn comp this time, and yeah, had a clean game.
Yeah, and this isn't just the only game of the day for you guys. Very shortly after this next game, I think our fourth game of the day is you guys versus Cloud9. What are your thoughts going into that matchup? Not to give anything away, just preparation-wise.
For me personally, I think Balls is the strongest laning phase player, especially if he's on Renekton. So I'm looking forward to a good game to learn a lot in laning phase, and I'm excited to play against him. I really enjoy playing against him in LCS. And for the team in general, I think they're definitely the top 3 teams in terms of mid to late game, with being up there with us, TSM, and C9. So I think it should be a good game. Most of it will be decided by the laning phase, I think. I don't think we can really out-rotate them to come back if we get too far behind, but I think we can definitely win the game.
Yeah, and Dexter, last time you actually had a very good game against Meteos, saying that you kind of knew where he was going to be in the jungle. Going to try to do something similar this game?
Well, in the scrims, I've noticed a repeatable pattern, what he does in the jungle, and yeah, I think if he's on a certain champion, I know what he's going to do, so... Yeah, we just have to see how picks and bans go and what champion I get, if the matchup is favorable for me, or if I am at a disadvantage, and then we just try to play around the jungle pick pretty much. So.
And you guys are sitting pretty securely in 3rd place right now, on your way for maybe a 3-1 on this week. How are your sort of thoughts coming into the rest of the season? You know, you look forward towards playoffs. The winning NA team goes to All-Stars, for example. Is that in your guys' future?
Well, actually, aiming at this week, we wanted to go for rank 1 and go 4-0 and try to get the rank 1 back, but TSM played really well with Reginald and he played really good, so they went 4-0, so it's not really possible for us anymore, I think, to get rank 1. But we really want to get top 2, and I think if we win against C9 one more time, and then in the Super Week, in week 11, we win again, then we might get the top 2, but yeah, like I said, we are really good at the 3rd spot right now, and we are we are really good like going into playoffs, because we secured a lot of wins already, and we have confidence, so yeah.
Yeah, and actually, as the playoffs would shape up, you would end up playing Cloud9 in the semifinals if you do win, as the standings currently hold. So I guess those are very important matches for you guys. I do want to kind of get back then into the games at hand, because you talked about kind of how long you thought about the first pick and said, you know, we have a Sivir comp in mind. Basically, once the bans are done, is that when you guys decide sort of, okay, what comp are we going for, and start structuring your picks around what's available now?
Well, the problem is we had a lot of random, like we can only guess what the enemy will ban, and we were like kind of, okay, they ban Lulu LeBlanc because Link is like smashing lane completely hard on those heroes. But yeah, randomly people ban like Lee Sin, Kha'Zix, and we didn't expect it, so we have to think about it, what we do and what we want to value as a first pick for us, and what we are willing to give up to them. And we decided that we don't want to pick Castle in this game, and we just want to be in our comfort zone and play our comp. That's what we did. Yep,
we have a lot of success with that comp, so we just decided to stick with it. If it's not broken, you don't got to change it.
Yeah.
So
just keep running it till it works.
Never change the running system.
One longer question I have. You've had a lot of success over in Europe last split when you're on Lemon Dogs, regular season success. And now you're finding the same success since you've joined CLG. What are the differences kind of between your time in Europe on Lemon Dogs versus your time here on CLG? Because you found success in both areas.
Well, it's actually in Lemon Dogs we were supposed, like we won every lane, every game, like all 3 lanes at the same time, and we just won the game through laning phase. And in Season 3 the game was way more snowbally, because if you win lane you can just win the game. And here in CLG it's like, okay, we can just play for even, and we know that we are really good strategically because we have Monte Cristo helping us out. And we know that if we get to mid-game where the rotations are like really good for us, we can win every game pretty much. And yeah, that's what we're trying to improve right now, to just have good short calling, and then we can work on our early game again, and yeah, that's what we're going to do.
And you know, I see a lot of agreement there. You've also been on a lot of teams, you know, thinking back to the 2013 split, Team Mar and all those things. What does CLG do better, since this is the most successful team you've been on?
CLG, I'd say we have stronger individual players than my old teams. No offense to them. I think they're all great and they have a lot of potential, but I think that this roster is extremely strong. I think we have top 3 players in each role. And I think that we just have a much better grasp of the strategical aspect of the game than any of my previous teams. Didn't really understand how to close out a game, didn't really understand what needed to happen to win a game. And on CLG, we just know what we need to do to win. And that it wasn't a thing on the old teams.
Yeah. And one thing that has to be asked with the CLG team, though, is how consistent can you guys actually be? Because even though you're kind of new to the system, CLG has had a lot of hope in the past where they've fallen off. And even with the disappointment that happened against TSM yesterday, how do you maintain a high level of play throughout the season and into the playoffs?
Well, we can only practice and hope for the best. Like the thing is, this week was on a new patch. We had to adjust our picks and bans completely, and new items are viable. Like support changed a lot, and the thing is, if a patch occurs, you just need to stay in the meta. You need to play solo queue. You need to figure out everything, what's good. And I think we are like the only teams that played Ryze top lane, and it draw like 2 bans, so it's worth it already. Like we played it once, it draw 2 bans. It opens up a lot of space for us in the champion selection, and we have a really good drafting right now. I think we are like probably the strongest team at drafting. If you don't get like overwhelmed by like the TSM picks and bans, but if it goes to standard comps, I think we are the best team at drafting right now, and we have a lot of viability in every lane. Like Link can play everything. We have like 5 or 6 top lane champions. I can pretty much play everything in the jungle. That's good, and our bot lane is just like really good 2-on-2. So
yeah.
What makes you so good at drafting? Just the fact that you have big champion pools, or do you have like a certain approach that means you always get what you want?
Well, the thing is, you need to value like certain champions. You need to know what you are willing to give up to the champion to the opponents. And if you're willing to give them Lulu, but you take like for example Elisa Shyvana, if it's worth it for you, then it's good. And if you can play around the first pick of the enemy, for example, then it's always good. And we know what we can deal with right now, and we know where every team like what first picks they prioritize. So we just give them like one of the champion picks, and then we just take other 2 that are good for us. And out of those 2 champions, we build a team comp around them. And that's how drafting goes pretty much. But I think we as a team are willing to give up OP champions more often than others, but we don't really care what others play. We just want to play our champions and stick in our comfort zone.
Awesome stuff. Very logical, strategic answers.
Yeah, that is my favorite champs like answer I've ever had from a team. He's like, you know, we'll let you have stuff because we'll know you'll go for it and we'll build for ourselves. I love that. You guys are doing a great job. Thank you very much for your time. Congrats on your win.
Thank you.
We got you guys against C9 later today. That'll be a fun one. But to take us into our next game, let's throw it over to Riv and Kobe.
All right. Thank you, Freak. And